So last summer I worked at Stop&shop as a cashier for about a month. It's a long story on why it was only a month, not like the whole summer. But anyways, I decided like let me make a video on, like just I guess answering frequently asked questions about working at Stop&shop as a cashier. So I'll start off with like how I found a job or like how I got the job. So it was over the summer and I was searching for, a temporary summer job. So I was going online and I guess like applying to places where I think that I would be a good fit. But then like a week or two later, I went in person to see if like maybe there were any like signs, like any, we're hiring signs on the door or anything. And yes, there was. It was like, now hiring, this is the pay, these are some of the benefits. These are your next steps to do. So after you apply online, like, a few days later, call the store and let them know that, they just applied. So that's what I did. In fact, what I did was like, instead of just like reading the paper and then like doing what I was supposed to do, I still went to like someone in person to get like the most recent up-to-date news. Yeah, that's what she basically told me to do. That like, yeah, we're hiring, first apply online, wait a few days, and then call the number over here. So that's what I did. So after that, I was invited for an interview. Then she let me know that, I got a job, and she asked me if I accepted, and like obviously yes, I was so excited that, finally get a job. So after that came, I guess, like the onboarding process, which I think happened later that week. But onboarding is basically just like doing paperwork, showing that I can legally work in the United States. I am pretty sure that onboarding and training were the same day because I'm thinking back to it. And onboarding, I have on a piece of paper, or I had it on a piece of paper. That happened at 2:30. Then I finally got out at like 6, I think. So that's like, what, 4.5 hours or something? Around like 4 hours. I'm sure that we did like paperwork at first, like when I got there. That took like, maybe 30 minutes. And then I watched the videos for like a few hours. But training was watching like a few hours of videos. Like, learning more about the company, their values. And I guess like working the system, that kind of stuff. And then like during the last hour was when I finally got that hands-on experience with like bagging groceries. After watching the videos, I guess that's when like we basically dove in, and she had me start out with bagging groceries. I believe I started out the first week just bagging groceries. But people were like low-key so grateful, especially like when they were the elderly. They were like, oh, thank you so much. So I guess I'll transition into, I guess, like how long shifts are. And as a cashier, I think cashier positions are only part-time, which is what I did. And you're like 4 to 6 hours a shift. But most of the time I did 4-hour shifts, which went by like really quickly. Because, it's only like 4 hours. Like, there's the first hour when you get there, and like the 2 hours in between, then like your last hour there, then like boom, you're out. And I got 15 minutes break paid. However, since it was cold in the store and I get like cold easily, when it was time for my break, I would go outside and kind of just bask in the warmth. Oh yeah, let me talk about clocking in and out. So one thing, we clocked in and out using like our fingertip, like they'll scan our fingertip kind of stuff. So you couldn't clock in as someone else. But also like if you didn't apply like the right amount of pressure, then like it would mark it as like invalid, so you'd have to do it again. That would be a little bothersome. Also, you couldn't work on unauthorized days or even unauthorized times, because if I remember, you have like 7 minutes leeway. It's either like 6 or 7 minutes leeway that like you can't clock in like more than 6 minutes before your shift, and you can't clock out more than 6 minutes after your shift without needing like manager permission to override the system. Which has happened to me a few times when I have to like bother someone and be like, hey, I'm supposed to work at this time. I remember that happened specifically for closing, that like I was more than 6 minutes past the time I was supposed to clock. I was supposed to get someone, and I was like, hey, I was supposed to clock out this time, it's more than 6 minutes, so I kind of like need your permission. The dress code was a polo shirt that they gave me. It didn't come out of my paycheck. And at our location, we could wear like any color pants. So I just wore either my dark blue or black jeans. Nothing too crazy. And about wearing a jacket or outerwear, I believe that some of my other coworkers wore like the black jacket with like the company logo on it. I might didn't have it because I didn't even work there for that long or anything. But I also wore like a black long sleeve underneath my polo shirt because I get cold easily, so I could just like roll it down or roll it up, kind of control the temperature a little. Any employee discounts or perks? No. However, something that I liked about working there was that schedules are posted like 2 weeks in advance. Basically, you have to schedule like any appointments. You could like do that for worrying about like, oh, I don't know if I'm working like the next week. So I liked having like that, like having 2 weeks of schedule, like knowing that. Because at my current place of employment, we only get like the upcoming week's schedule, and we find out on Saturday, like literally Saturday afternoon. That's when I find out if I'm working on Sunday and like the upcoming week. Let me talk about pay, payday, that kind of stuff. Pay was minimum wage. However, they have a union there, and yes, during my interview, she did tell me more about the union. But after 90 days, aka 3 months of being there, that would make me eligible to join the union, which takes I think like $12 out of every paycheck. But like unions offer like a bunch of protections and benefits. Well, I wasn't there long enough to join the union. I was only there for about a month, like literally like 4 or 5 weeks. And I felt bad because I purposely didn't let her know that I'm a college student, so I'll be leaving in September, because obviously I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot and be like, oh, by the way, I'm a college student, so you don't have to waste your time training me and everything just for me to be gone in about a month. I remember like when I put in my 2 weeks because of college, I was like, oh, I wish you had told me that. I didn't apologize, but I should just like slowly nod like, yeah, sorry about that. We got paid every week on Friday, and I never signed up for direct deposit because of the short time that I was there. And like normally, like I feel like at the end of like my work experience, I would have like a little reflection piece. I think like how I learned, like what I learned, how I changed as a person, that kind of stuff. But because I was only there for a short amount of time, a month, I don't really have a reflection piece. But I do have like I guess like interesting observations. Something I noticed was that they employed more people than needed, which was a big change from Subway. Like literally Subway, I worked solo shifts, and it would be nice to have 2 people, not only for like dealing with like rushes, like lunch, dinner rush, but also for safety. But like Stop and Shop, they were heavy on keeping the customer satisfied. Like you have customer service and how like pretty chill they are. I know that for one thing, they had digital coupons, which means that you'd have to download the app and like do the coupons from your phone. However, since we had a good amount of like elderly people working there, they don't really know how to like work this new technology. So like they'd show me like the price on the flyer and be like, I don't have the app, or I don't know how to work it, but this is what I'm trying to get, this is the deal I'm trying to get. And I could override it and like take and like do the coupon thing on the register. I like how chill they were with that. I like how they're heavy on keeping a customer satisfied. Also how they took threats seriously. Like they'll even bring police into it. Like if a customer made a threat to a fellow employee, like they'd call the police and file a report claim type of thing. Because I know that my cheap Subway boss would never do that. Like honestly, at that point, I'm just used to like, if anyone were to ever threaten me or like to say something not nice, I'll just like take it and like low-key ignore it. But like not here at Stop and Shop, they brought police into it, and I'm thinking like it's not that serious. But I also like how they watch out for the employees as well. Other observations as a cashier was noticing how many people use the EBT, like food stamps. Because I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of eating well, because they can get like the name brand stuff and they can get like a bunch of it. I'm just like a little jealous, but just like a little. I like seeing what different people got, like different family sizes and like what they got, because I come from like a family of about like 5-6 people. We pretty much buy a lot. I'm seeing that people spend like this is their go-to for like their groceries. That's interesting. Also seeing like how much people, like families of just 1 or 2 get. Like what made me almost laugh was just seeing like a single onion on a conveyor belt. Like normally we buy like the whole bag of onions, but seeing just 1 onion on the conveyor belt had me holding back laughter. And a possible unpopular opinion was that I preferred people who had like a big car stuff, because it meant I could just kind of like dissociate and time would fly by as I just like scanned and put it to the like other side of the conveyor belt. The greatest amount I ever witnessed someone spend was around $400. I don't even remember exactly what she got, but I just remember it was like mostly like I guess that was like her weekly grocery shopping, as in just getting everything, like food, house stuff, personal stuff, just getting like everything. I never really got to bond with my coworkers because I believe that most of them were older than me, also because I knew I was only going to be there for a short amount of time, so I didn't want to like make bonds just to have to break them pretty soon. But I did have this one coworker who would get there early. She got there by bus, So she'll get here early, like maybe 15-20 minutes early. So since she couldn't clock in, she'll chill on like the main floor talking to her fellow co-workers and like her regular customers. So, you know, she was a talkative person, I guess. So, you know, kind of person to also have a bunch of buddies. I admire that, because if it was me, if I got there early for whatever reason, I'd be chilling outside. Like, I'll not enter the premises yet. Even when I did go to work, I'll get there a few minutes early on purpose. I could just spend like a few minutes just to like mentally prepare myself and like relax before my shift. But anyways, that's all for this video. I hope that this will help someone out who's maybe thinking about working at Stop and Shop or something. I don't know. It was only a month. I don't have like the most helpful advice, but it's still something. I should have like worn my polo shirt, like, you know, my uniform while making this video, but like, it's okay. But, you know, thanks for watching. You know, like, subscribe, the usual, and till next time.